Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Algo. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content and you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. So let's get into the fun stuff here. Basically what we were looking at is a couple of options. We were looking at the possibility we could have completed this B-wave here. At this 0.382 retracement, looking at this as a flat and then actually looking for a C wave to the upside. However, it is also possible we are still within a corrective move here where this could be an A, a B, and then we still look to push down. So we need to bear that in mind. We do have some bullish potential with this low here, and we're going to discuss that within the video. But we also need to be aware that we could actually start to look to break down, because we could also count this move in a more corrective way, in which we went over the previous video, where we actually look at this as just a corrective move into this high point here. So if this is the case, we need to be careful because we are still looking for that potential of having a fourth wave. If we have a corrective move like this, effectively what we could be looking for is actually looking for an additional leg to the downside and potentially looking to actually come down to this $13.52 to this $10.45 range. So this is something we need to just bear in mind. If we start to develop impulsive structure to the downside here, this could be a zone that we actually look to travel down to. So really, we need to just bear in mind that we are potentially would still be looking to find support at some of these zones. If we do actually look down, let's just move this. We'd have to break through the 1775 area to get better confirmation that we're actually within that move. Alternatively, we could just still be within a B wave here. Even if we do complete into this high, we could potentially argue that we've had a complex A wave, and then we could look for that B wave to the downside and still have that C wave to the upside. So there's multiple ways of looking at this currently. Counting it as a 5-wave structure though, I would go into this point here, looking for this as a flat. Like I said, we could be looking to push up from here. Or alternatively, what we could get is that this becomes the first leg of an A wave, we get a B and a C. So that would be looking at basically this whole move like this as an A, a B, and then actually looking for a C wave to the downside. So this is still possible. What we'd be looking for here, if we are going to move down like this, is obviously we'd be looking for a break of this low point over here at the 2330 zone for confirmation. And then what we'd be looking out for is potentially this 1-to-1 here at this 2285. Although if this does extend down, potentially we could look to retest this 1236 at this 2153. And this 20 cent 75 range at the 1382 would actually line up quite nicely with this fourth wave here. So that'll be an area we need to keep an eye on if we do actually move down. So this is still possibilities. We need to just monitor how we react from here to sort of see. If we want to talk about let's go with the bearish scenario. If we're talking bearish, what we were talking about previously is that we could look at this as a wave 2. We've actually come higher, so for the most part, we can still argue it's a wave 2 into this point. We wouldn't really want to come any higher than this, though, and it's sort of getting towards... We'd have to look at this potentially as an A here, a B, and then perhaps we'd have to look at this as a diagonal to complete here, where that would be just an ABC pattern, and then actually look to break down. So if we do start to break down deeper here, what I would be looking out for effectively would be to see whether we manage to actually break down to this 1955. If we do break down to this 1955 in a 5-wave move, then it would become likely that we're going to see an additional fourth and a fifth here. So this would be something we need to just keep a little bit of an eye on here. If we do get this deeper break to the downside, that could be a zone that turns into a 5-wave structure. Alternatively, we could also see this move just come down in a 3-wave move here, and that 1-to-1 would actually be this 2283. If we do come down just in a 3-wave move, we have two options. Either that could be a corrective structure completed, and then we actually look to push up one more time, or alternatively, this could be an A wave, we come back up for a B wave, and then we look to progress down for a C wave again. So this is if we're going to look for that deeper retracement. This would potentially be how we go about it if we're looking from this high point here. However, like I said, if we do develop bigger 5-wave structure down here, it becomes more likely actually what we could be looking for is then to have a 3-wave move back to the upside here, potentially come and retest some of these zones here, and then actually look to break down deeper for a bigger 5-wave move, looking for that target down here. We don't have the correct structure at the moment to confirm this yet, so until we do, and as long as we hold some key areas, you know, we can still look for that bullish potential. So talking about the bullish potential, what we'd be looking for would be something like this. Actually, let's go over, I just need to do this. So looking at this immediate move down, so this is looking for the bearish potential of whether we're looking for this 1-to-1 down here of this first move down, or alternatively if we were looking to extend further. The way I'm currently looking at this structure is I'm looking at this as potentially a 1, 2, 3 down into this low, looking for this as a fourth. If we hold this 27.16 to this 26.96 zone, potentially we could still see this fifth wave to the downside, which would actually look to take us towards this 26.17 to this 25.88, followed by an additional fourth and a fifth, and then finally one more fourth and a fifth to the downside here, which depending on where this on how high this comes, effectively it would adjust where this fifth wave comes into. But if we said it went into that 382, so this would bring us towards this 25.38 to this 24.97 zone. So this is this would just give us a 5-wave structure to the downside, and then we'd have to watch that retracement to see if we get rejection again back in this zone and look to actually break down one more time for a bigger move here. So this would be potentially setting up for 1-2 and then actually looking for a much deeper move, which would kind of tie in with that bigger 5-wave structure if it develops. So within this move here, there's some key points. So the key points are these wave 1 highs or lows here, rather in this case, to be this 27.34, this 27.51, and this 28.01. If we do break above these with this fourth wave here, it would invalidate this count. However, really, until we actually break above this high point again of this 29.38, we need to just be aware that there could be extension where this becomes a 1-2, we get another 1-1-2, or we get a 1-2-1-2, this becomes a 3, then we're getting an extension in the fifth wave. So, you know, there is a couple of possibilities where we can actually cross these wave 1 highs and then still continue to progress to the downside. So if we do cross this wave 1 high, the zone I'd be keeping an eye on would be this 27.62 to this 27.34. If we do fail to break through this zone here, it becomes more likely that we're actually going to continue down, and we'd have to look at this then again as a 1-2 and then potentially looking to break down much deeper. We don't have confirmation of it yet, but this is just sort of what I'm keeping an eye out for. Once we start to cross, if we had to move back up and cross this 28.23, it would make the structure less likely. We'd have to, if we wanted to argue bearish scenario, then we'd have to say that this had been a diagonal where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into here, in which case what we'd be looking for as a rejection area, if I throw this fib on to there, so that's maintaining this low that we currently have, would be this 27.83 to this 28.70. If we fail to break through this 28.70, I would be looking for that continuation to the downside within this count. Okay, so now we're talking upside. Let's get into the upside count. The upside would be looking at, there's two ways that I'm looking at this move. So we can argue that we could have had a wave 1 into here, a 2, and then we could actually look at this potentially as a diagonal here, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get a flat 3. So basically this would become a wave 1 into here, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 into this high point. So they would be looking at this as an additional 1, 2 here potentially. Though we have to be careful because this would be a 3-wave diagonal. Well, it's a 5-wave move made up of 3 waves. So this could also just be an ABC and then it's completed, and we look for that bearish scenario to break down. So this is why I'm just being a little bit cautious within the structure of this move. If we do, however, hold this low of this 25.69, and we do actually maintain this yellow box region, this 26.71 to this 26.17 zone, effectively what we could have here is another 1 and a 2, in which case we could look to break to the upside. What we'd want to see is a clean break above this 29.37, and if we were talking about bigger bullish potential here, we'd have to then be looking with the current structure we have for a bigger wave 3, we'd have to be looking towards this 3282 zone. If we did get a bigger move to the upside here towards this 3282, then we could then have a look at the fact that we could count this then as a 1, 2, 3, potentially look for a fourth to the downside and have that fifth up. So we can see how this would then put us quite close to this target area for this as a 1, 2, which would be this 3540. So, you know, if we do start to extend out here, it's possible we could move up to this 3540, which could then lead us towards this zone here of this 3822 to this 3648, depending on how deep this fourth wave comes here. So this is something that I'm just keeping an eye on. If we do start to hold these supports and start to push up here more impulsively, we could then see these bigger moves playing out. But this would be a wave 3. So what we'd want to see is, you know, we'd want to see this form a 1, 2 at the bottom here. And then we'd want to see maybe another 1, 2. And then we'd want to see it start to like get some strength to this move. We'd want to start to see this really getting that push to the upside here and really starting to get that volume behind it and getting quite vertical. If it just moves sideways, it becomes less likely that's the case. Obviously, while we're setting up our first sort of 1 and a 2, you know, it can be a little bit choppy within these moves. But then once that third wave comes in, you'd want it to start to get quite strong and quite impulsive in nature. So that's looking at this as a 1, 2. The alternative is we look at this as a flat correction here, where this has become an A, this is a B, and then we're actually looking for the C. So, like I said, we can argue that we potentially have a diagonal completed here. It hasn't really, would be, if it did complete, there would have to be a running flat, where we've actually come down to this 1-to-1 of this A wave, and then we actually reverse here, and this becomes just a flat correction here. And then we'd be looking for a continuation to the upside from this point. So from this point, then what we'd be looking for is how the structure develops. We'd want to see something like this play out, where we get a nice clean 5-wave move, come back down in a 3-wave move for a retracement, and then start to move to the upside here. Once again, if we did have to move here, it would slightly change this third wave target as it would push it slightly up. But if this is a running flat here, it would end basically the next move up should be quite a strong one. So if that is the case, you know, what we'd be looking for is this actually to start to progress to the upside here, and start to get quite strong in nature, just because of the fact that after we get running flats, we do tend to see that. If, however, like I said, you know, we have that other 5-wave move which hasn't completed, let me throw that on. What we could see is actually a deeper move down here into this 2592 to this 2494 zone, where we get these additional fourths and fifths, which bring us down into this area. So this would be a typical zone that we'd see as an expanding flat. So, you know, this 2494 would be quite an interesting zone, and it would also sort of line up with coming back and having a retest of the 618 zone. However, really, all that would be necessary would be to actually take this wave A if we're looking at a expanding flat, because it would be within the range. So, you know, there's some zones here we could potentially look at. This 2549 is an interesting area. It also puts us into this box. So this is something that we could see play out. We have to just be careful if we do look at this move to the downside here. Sometimes when we're doing these subwave counting on the smaller scale here, you know, you might be out slightly. So what you'd want to be looking out for is the confirmation of these fourth waves. If we complete this one and then we get a bigger move up here, you know, then it becomes less likely, and invalidation would be at this 2802. So you know, you want to be careful on these sort of the bottom end of these moves if you're counting extensions. Alternatively, you know, these can also push down lower and change these targets as well. So just need to give it a bit of space to sort of play out. But yeah, I mean, that for the most part, that's what I'm looking at. You know, if we do maintain this this zone here of this 2330 and we hold this area here of this 2574 to this 2430, you know, we can still look for that bullish potential here. But like I also said, you know, we need to just be careful. This isn't just a connector wave here, and then actually we are looking to break down. So this move to the downside is looking like it has the potential to become quite impulsive. It isn't at the moment, but you know, a couple of wave 2s in here, and this could start to get some legs down. and we could then be looking for that lower target that we talked about within the video, down here towards this zone of this 2288, potentially coming back to this zone, or even coming down low and retesting this fourth wave. So yeah, I mean, we need to just keep an eye on it, see how it progresses, but we will try to keep you up to date as best we can. It's just a bit of a dangerous one because of how we can count this move here as well. You know, this could just be a wave 1, 2, and then, you know, this starts to get those legs to it, and we start to form 1s and 2s here within the microstructure, and then it starts to actually break down quite strong. So yeah, we just have to watch that and watch these keys levels, and then we'll go from there. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave it there. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Within the link, within the description down below, you'll also find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourselves. If you do use the affiliate link, it does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. So thank you. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you there.